Okay, team. Good morning, everyone. All right, let me get these levels set up for us so we can hit our session. Previous day low, I just mark the wick. This is how I do this in real time, just so you all see. I'm sure plenty of y'all have seen this and already know how to do it, but there's a lot of new people in here that I want to do this for. So PDL touches. I grab the most amount of touches at the lowest point possible. And that will be these three here at 675.81, and then the wick at 675.78. So not much of a difference there. Sometimes there's a huge difference that can make a difference. Sometimes it doesn't. This green line was an old level from yesterday. I'm going to delete that and get it out of our way for clarity. Then I will mark our previous day open. The bottom of the candle at the 9:30 mark is where the candle opened at. And then we'll mark the previous day close, right where this green candle closed here at the top at 15:55, right before the market closes. My underlying support and my resistances are in the afternoon sessions from yesterday still. I will move those out of the way for us. We will mark aftermarket high while we're here, the top of the wick. We'll mark our aftermarket low, the bottom here. We have the gap up. We'll knock out while we're in this range, we'll knock out our previous day high touches. Same thing as what we did with the previous day low. The most amount of touches at the lowest, at the highest point, it'll be these 30 touches, 684.75. We'll mark the previous day high wick. Top of the green wick there at 684.94, so not a huge gap there. Then we'll mark our pre-market high. All the way up at 686.91. We'll take our pre-market low, which is this bottom of this green wick at 683.64. And team, that is literally how I set all those levels. Now I have support and resistance on nothing. We had it on levels from yesterday. I'm going to move that out of our way and we will establish that in real time. Anyone got any questions about that before we dig into the morning session? Jax, good morning. Sal, good morning. Let's do it, bro. Esther, good morning. Ryan, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Good morning.
Marlon, good morning. I was just walking everyone through how I set key levels from the day before. Nothing too sophisticated about it, guys. That's literally how I've been doing it since I became a profitable trader. I know most of you all know how to do that. I was literally just doing it for a lot of the new people in here that might not have seen it and have not had a chance to watch the 4,000 live sessions that are in the A to Z course. Jonathan, I always use the 5-minute chart to set my levels. Truly, I don't use the 1 minute a lot. There for a while, I was using the 1 minute, and I have been back testing a bit, Jonathan and everyone else. And I called Ryan about this yesterday. I've been finding days where I'm getting more than when my ratios are way off, right? Like typically my hit rate's about 74% on profitable trades. And some of those are half off and break evens and other ones are full trades, right? So just keep that in mind, that what I have been noticing is, and what I've been seeing is I've been looking back at like the hour chart and the day chart on the day before that. So if you look at Fridays compared to our Tuesday's price action, we had a giant doji candle. And I'll show you guys real quick what I was talking about. So if we go here, let's just go to a 1 day chart, right? So this chart's going to get all jumbled looking, right? Look at this. On Friday, the market literally has a low of 677.49 and it has a high of 686.27, right? So we have this huge amount of movement, but this little tiny doji candle. And on days where I'm having 3+ stop outs, and so I'm having more stop outs than wins, which is very, very unusual for our hit rate, the way we trade. I look back at it, and most of those days where it's not that, at least 50-50 or 60-40 or even 70-30, if we're taking that many trades, there's always this little weird doji candle on the day before's price action. So super, super interesting to see how the big picture of SPY will dictate, or has kind of tells its story of when it's the day before the doji candle. Like when we're literally taking our entries on a 5-minute chart from a structure standpoint, it means the market's undecided, right? It doesn't mean it's going to reverse. It doesn't mean it's going to continue. It just hasn't decided yet. But when it does that the day before, I back tested like six or eight of my really bad red days compared to my winning days. There's always a doji candle sitting up ahead of those. So just an observation, team. I have not got enough information to say that we'll not trade that, or maybe we can use that as some caution to size down or something along those lines. But just an observation that I found. All right, team. Resistance, I'm going to put it right at the top of this swing point, which is in coincidence right at the top of the high from 1027. And then support, I'm going to put right below this right below this pre-market for now. And I might move this up a bit, but it's already reacted off the aftermarket high prices, as you guys can see. So and then overarching, one will say would be the top of the swing point here before that. So lots of power going into the market as we see it. Jonathan, you got it. Sethery, let's go. I'm slightly going to modify this resistance. And I'm going to mark the bottom of the swing point here where that was very, very clearly support in the pre-market. It falls through it, beautiful follow through. And then it comes up here and it tests it. And it doesn't quite get to it with the pre-market at 835, but it does reject it at 830 and continues on down. So I think we get a nice confirm close above that. We have a decent amount of room up to 686.43 from where we're at now at 685.58. So a firm close above that, and I'll look for definitely be looking for calls. What do you think about that, Ryan?
Yeah, it's kind of fighting this bearish trend in pre-market.
It is.
I think it's looking like it's going to push through. That'd be my only thought. It's got these descending highs it's coming through. But yeah, it definitely looks strong. I'm trying to make sense of how it's reacting through here right now. Doesn't seem to